Recently, one of our young people had a journey in which they became a little closer to Christ. And Adriana would like to share that testimony with you as she remembers her baptism. Adriana, excuse me. Yeah, you're going to need a microphone. There you go. Help me with.
My name is Adriana with one N. I am 15 years old, and I am here to remember my baptism. And I haven't had the most perfect life. I've been through a lot. I was raised in a Christian family, but even then, from a young age, I always felt empty, like I was missing something. But despite that, everything seemed fine until around 5th grade. I started experiencing and researching signs of both anxiety and depression, even though I wasn't professionally diagnosed until I was 13 and 14. And in case you don't know, those are illnesses where the chemicals in your brain just aren't quite right. But 10-year-old me, I didn't know what to do because I was so young. And it's not like these things come at you like a truck. They come at you slowly like a snake. I saw I could handle it on my own because at the time it wasn't that bad, but I was wrong. I didn't think much of it until another snake crawled into my brain. Thoughts of ending my own life and thoughts of self-harm. This is when my faith started going downhill and I started to doubt God, get angry with God. And I'd always ask myself and ask him, why me? Why of all people does this have to happen to me? And eventually I reached a point so low that I started to engage in the activities I had thought about because of the snake that had been implanted in my brain at a young age. I would pray, scream, and cry out to God to just make the pain end. And eventually I stopped believing altogether until one specific day that I remember in August. And for anybody who doesn't know, there's a yearly camp hosted by the church and called Tar Hollow, and it lasts a week. And last time I went, it was my 4th year, and it was definitely one I'll never forget. They have evening services there called Vespers, and I remember on that Wednesday night, David Shivington was giving the message, but what stuck out to me the most during that sermon that he said was when he said that we were all creations of God and how we shouldn't talk ourselves down because we were made in his image. And that stuck out to me because, I had been talking myself down my whole life, and it was all I ever knew. And something that kind of clicked with me was when he said, to turn to a neighbor and promise to stop talking ourselves down. And that made things real for me because, a promise is a real thing, and more importantly, it's something you can trust. And I did promise. I turned to my best friend who was kind of sitting beside me, and I promised. I was baptized in 3rd grade, and at first I didn't mean it, I didn't have many friends, but, I saw, hey, if I do this thing, I'll seem cool, and everybody will like me. And at the time, I didn't mean it, but now it has so much more meaning to me, and I do mean everything I did back then. And I believe that it was God's plan to put me through all that I went through, so I could be here to talk today and become an inspiration to people who may be going through similar things, young or old. Sometimes you just have to realize that it's normal to take large or small dips in your face as long as you remember that no matter what, God will be there to lift you out. Sometimes, you just have to notice the signs to see that. For example, one time I wasn't in the best place, and I was thinking about doing something rather stupid until I heard my best friend's voice in my head telling me that they loved me, and that was definitely God. It took me a while to realize it, but it was definitely him. I know because if I hadn't heard that voice that night, and I'm almost certain I wouldn't be here today. And there are people you can talk to that can help you get back on your feet, pastors, peers, etc. And you just have to find them because you can't always make the journey alone. I learned that the hard way. And I want to remember my baptism because I want to wipe my slate clean, and I want to start over. And I want it to be proof that is possible. I want to be proof that no matter what you've gone through or where you've been or where you are, that it's possible to start over. And I am proof things get better, and I am proof that it's never too late to do that.